All right, people. Good afternoon. Time to take a break from all the football stuff, all the Seahawks stuff, and turn our focus now to the college ranks, the Washington Huskies. I do talk about them every week. I do watch their games every week. I do a watch-along stream of them every week. By the way, as typical, expect to see me streaming the Huskies game tomorrow. I won't have the game on screen, of course, but I will be watching the game and I will be streaming my reaction to it. I'll be doing play-by-play. I'll be doing coverage. I'll be talking about the game. You guys know the drill by now, so tune in if you have the opportunity to. Tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. Pacific. Big game, important game, interesting game as it turns out. And there is a good amount to talk about. But first, let me tell you guys a little bit about Sleeper. Before I go any further, I want to tell you a little bit about my friends over at Sleeper. If you're not using the Sleeper app this year for daily fantasy football, you are missing out. Take a look on the left side of your screen. Look at all the great stuff you can pick on over there. Let's put together an entry for this weekend. Here is mine. I've got Bijan Robinson scoring an anytime touchdown. Atlanta's offense is due for a breakout after last week's tremendous disappointment, scoring 0 points. I got Micah Parsons getting at least half a sack against the Cowboys. How is he not going to get a sack in that game? It's a revenge game for him. I got Rome Odunze with at least 59 receiving yards. He's feeling it right now. He's going up against the Raiders. Think he's going to do well. And I got DK Metcalf after two relatively slow games, getting at least 51 yards. Pittsburgh's having trouble running the ball. Time for DK to bust a big play or two. Get on over to Sleeper, put together your entry. You can get a $100 match on your first deposit with promo code SBN. Terms and conditions apply. Back to the video. All right, welcome back. So, Ohio State comes to Seattle to take on the Washington Huskies tomorrow, and it's really the first test of any kind for Washington this year because, as it turns out, the Cougars just seem like they're bad, like maybe really bad. So, this is kind of the start of the season for Washington, and you want to talk about getting thrown into the deep end. You're playing probably the best team in the country to start off your real schedule. You get 3 easy wins to start the year. Borderline free wins, although Wazoo did put up a little bit of a fight. And now you're just supposed to go play the defending champions who look about that level again. I don't know, but they do look like the best team in the country to me at the moment. And look, I think that there is a pathway to win for the Huskies, but I have a hard time believing the defense that I've seen so far this year is going to actually do enough to win. I am getting faith back in this offense. It seems like they're getting a little bit healthier. It seems like they're in a state where they can at least do what they need to do. But at the same time, I'm aware that Ohio State poses a challenge orders of magnitude beyond anything that they've seen before. There's no way we're going to score every time we touch the ball. There's no way we're going to have 10 straight drives end in touchdowns. There's just no way. There's no way we're going to have the production that we saw in those first few weeks. The last 2.5 games for the Huskies, they've been virtually unstoppable. That cannot possibly hold against this Ohio State defense that I don't know if they're as talented as they've been in the past, but they have certainly been, they've certainly got way more talent than the teams we played so far. And you look at how Washington has done it. They've avoided turnovers. They haven't had a turnover since the botched snap fumble against Colorado State, which was more than 2.5 games ago. So is that sustainable in a game against a real defense? Hard to imagine. The way they just completely dominate third down. They are virtually unstoppable on third down. Every time they get into a third down, Demond Williams either makes a good throw or he runs for it. And it's almost impossible for other teams to stop because he is such a good athlete. It feels like you cannot bring him down before the sticks, ever. It feels unfair at times because he's so good. But Ohio State is going to have athletes that can match up with you. They're going to have the talent to not allow him to just go crazy. And while I do like the skill position players on this team, Jonah Coleman's awesome, Denzel Boston's awesome, I don't think we have such an overwhelming advantage in that area that we can just flood out Ohio State. This is not like a couple years ago when the Huskies had Rome, they had McMillan, they had Polk, Jalen Polk. They were so talented at that receiver position that it felt like even the best defenses in the country could not routinely stack up. They needed to find an advantage elsewhere to have a real chance to win the game. So I'm looking at that and I'm just like, yeah, we have good stuff out there. I love Denzel Boston in particular, but I don't think it's anything that these other teams look at and go, there's just no way we stop this. I think the only thing we have in that realm is Demond. And I don't think Demond is going to be enough to just single-handedly lift the team over the Buckeyes. So the offense will be good. I don't know about great. And they're probably going to need to be beyond great because I'm seeing very little from this defense so far. I think that last week was really, really bad. I know they made some big plays at the end against Wazoo to seal the win. But this has been, for the most part, a bad defense. They've given up a lot of third and longs. They get decent pressure, but they're not finishing the job in the backfield. The run defense seems a little bit better than last year, but I don't get the sense that it's radically better. And the jump in opposing talent is so big in this game. It's not hard to imagine a scenario where you just never force a punt. Like it would not shock me. And I know I sound like I'm being really negative about a 3-0 Huskies team, but I'm actually not. I'm just negative about the defense because I don't think they're very good. It would not shock me if Ohio State, and I know they don't have the typical levels of talent that they have had in the past on that team right now. I know it isn't your slightly older brothers, Ohio State Buckeyes necessarily, but I still think there's a massive jump up from Wazoo to Ohio State. And Wazoo's probably the best team you played so far this year. As much as they are not very good, that's probably still the best you've got. So if the defense goes out there, and the defense still has some injury issues, we don't know if we're going to have Tacario Davis. If we don't have Tacario Davis, what chance do we have against that receiver group? What chance do we have against Jeremiah Smith? What chance do we have there? I don't think much of one, personally. I am very, very pessimistic on our chances if we don't have Tacario Davis. With him, we have a chance because that's a guy who can go toe-to-toe with the best. If we have a healthy defensive line, we have a chance. But if we're missing guys like Parker, I don't know what we can do. So I know I sound a little bit pessimistic right now, but I can't help it. I think this Ohio State team, they don't have the level of talent they had last year. They've had more talent in other recent years. That is still a very well-coached and well-put-together unit that I think is just going to give Washington something they're not ready for. So if we get Tacario and if we get Parker back for this game, I think that we have a chance. I still would say we're underdogs, but if Davis cannot go, I think, I don't know how we get off the field. I think that is kind of that is an absolute must-have because these corners can't hang with much of anything. I certainly don't think they're going to be able to hang with Ohio State. All right, so I'm going to stream the whole game no matter what, but I'm just going to say it. My expectations are a little bit low. It is at home. Maybe that can help us. We haven't lost at home in a while, but this is the kind of challenge we haven't had at home in a while. All right, bow down to Washington. See you guys soon.